Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Book of Boba Fett figure from SH Figuarts. The Mandalorian Boba Fett figure from last year was easily one of my favorite figures, and it had its shortcomings. So the question is, with this new version of Boba Fett, have they addressed some of those shortcomings, and ultimately, does it stack up to that other Mandalorian version? Well, we're going to talk about that, so let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure is absolutely gorgeous and has just as much detail and attention paid to it as the Mandalorian version did last year. And, that's comes right in with the colors. And, they're kind of a little more, not muted, but they've got kind of a little more brightness to the yellows. And, you got some more wear on the green. It doesn't look quite as, not crisp, but it, clearly has been through more since the Mandalorian storyline, and we can see there's a lot more dents and a lot more scrapes and all of that we're used to seeing on Boba Fett's armor. So that is very well done. We come to the gauntlets, and we have that nice punched in detail. We still have our hoses, and just looks great. Proportions are absolutely fantastic, very much accurate to the show itself. Not only that, but obviously we don't have the baggy pants now. We have the actual, the kind of, moto style pants. The different colored spats are just the right shade. I really also like that they did a little bit of shading down here to give it some nice depth. And sculpt is spot on. Of course, we only have the kind of back skirt, cape piece, whatever you want to call it, with a little bit of darting back here and a little bit of wear here at the bottom. So, slightly weathered, but not too much. And, it can, because of that darting, you can get it to kind of fly up if you're going to do some action poses like running or flying. So that is always welcome. And then we come to the belt, and lots of punched in details, especially with that gold. So see the thing on the symbol on the belt buckle, and then the armaments here all around, all the way at the back. And even the back piece, we get the actual finished back plate here. So when he does not have the jetpack on, you can see the details there, which I thought was very nicely done. So just again, absolutely gorgeous figure. We get an absolutely unruly number of accessories with this figure, and part of that is because everything we got with the Mandalorian version of Boba Fett last year, we do get in this as well, plus a bunch of additions. So let's jump right in because there's so much to talk about. So talking about hands, right off the bat, we get a couple of fists. Then we get a pair of trigger discipline hands, a pair of standard grips, be for one of the accessories later. And those are new. I believe those did not come with the Mandalorian version. Then we get our splayed out hands. And finally, our cupping hands. So after all that, we get not one or two, but three different heads. So obviously we get the helmeted head and neck piece. Then we get the kind of more stern face sculpt. Very well done. They definitely improved from that last figure. These look much, much more like Tem. So that is excellent. And we get, we get kind of a more calm, subdued looking face. More akin to what we got with the last figure too, and I actually have that here. As you can see, sculpt is just like way better, or the sculpt and paint. The skin tone is still way too light, I think, but definitely a vast improvement. And so that's great. And then of course we get the neck piece for those, so we don't have the black neck piece, which is attached to the helmet. And so moving on to the jetpack. So we get I think this is pretty much the same jetpack, just different paint. And we get different details here. Actually, no, this would be different because the other one had the full on patch going on. So we get some nice blues and yellows added in here. But a lot of the same details, just all around. Every inch of this is sculpted, even the back. And something I don't think I mentioned earlier was that back plate that they did all the detail on does come off, so you can put this on, because as you saw, there were no ports. So those are all hidden under that, which I think is a great approach. And same as before, the rocket does come out. And that leads us to the blast effect. So same one we got with the last figure, that just really nice clarity the yellow coming into the white. And then of course we have our blast effects for the rocket pack itself. As you can see, it's a ball joint, so those just pop out. You can pop these in if that's the look you're going for. And with a removable rocket, we also get the short rocket again with that kind of nice blue, metallic blue with the oranges and whites, and just, you know, looks nice. Then we get into weapons. So first of all, we get the gaffy stick, and exquisite detail here all around, even down to the tiniest detail. Even the wraps are just like really beautifully done here. Even this like middle piece. I don't think my camera's really doing it justice, but I think you can kind of see it there. So really excellent all around there. Then of course, his signature rifle, same as before, pretty much the exact same thing we got the last one. So details all around. Then we get the sidearm. Again, same amount of detail, paints, just everything super crisp. Could not ask for more. And we actually get a version of the holster with nothing in it, which again, we got before. So you can see the ports to plug it in. And on the figure itself, we have the one, or the version of that blaster in the port. And that just kind of comes off the side here if you want to replace it. Then finally, the piece de resistance, and that is his throne. And this is gorgeous. Just beautifully done. We can see the Rancor heads done very, very nice with that kind of bronze tinge to them, with a little bit of patinas kind of painted in. Looks a little rough, I think, on the front, but it looks nice on the heads themselves. Really good work on the padding here. See all the symbols. They did some nice aging here as well. And details go all the way around. So you can see the sides are sculpted. Come to the back, there's some more sculpting, some more aging with the just, nice little dry brushing going on. And in the back is just kind of basic and your standard information. So it's awesome. It definitely feels solid. It is hollow, but it is a very, very solid piece overall, and just an awesome addition. So that's accessories. Articulation here is excellent, and this is where it most shows that they learned from that last release. So as you can see, while I can't do a freestanding kick because of some range we'll get to later, but it can hold the knee rocket launching pose, which I think is fantastic. So there you go. If you want to create that scene, you can. So we got that, but then going top to bottom, our head. So we do have the rangefinder on a swivel. So you can see that moves. Feels very sturdy as well, which is also nice. We get a ball joint going into the head, a separate neck piece as you saw, and then a ball joint into the body. And they definitely thinned out this piece right here under the neck. So we are getting some okay down and way better up. So you can totally do your flight poses here, and that is very, very welcome. So love that. And even get a little bit of tilt again, because we've got a nice bit of room going on there. Come down to the arms, and we do have some butterfly, which gives us all the way around. It's not as tight as the Mandalorian version was, so as you can see, some nice room. Also, these joints do not feel nearly as tight as that one did, so that's good. We get rotation at the top of the delt. We get bicep swivel as well. Trying to show that off. There we go. So we get some bicep swivel. We get single jointed elbows that come well past 90, so fantastic range. Then of course we get our ball joints at the wrist, so we can get wherever we want to go depending on where we bring the hinge within that joint. For our torso, single ball joint here at the waist, but pretty good. Not some deep crunch, but still respectable. And arch back isn't fantastic, but it is there. And then we get some side to side. So as you can see, they tried to put as much room as possible down there, but with keeping the integrity of the sculpt and the look, it wasn't going to be too possible. Come out down to our legs, and we do not have drop downs, unfortunately. I think they would have helped here because we get pretty good range, but it could have been better with some drop downs. But on that is very nice. Kick forward is absolutely fantastic though. And we get some thigh swivel, single jointed knees once again. However, we're coming really, again, well past 90, just really well implemented joints. Come to the feet, and not too much of a point. Again, we got some really tight sculpt going on here. Got some really nice forward though. We do have a toe joint, and we are going to get some rocker thanks to that. So that will do it for articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other modern Boba Fetts, and as you can see, he is actually kind of slightly smaller than the one we got last year. With some Hasbro and Mattel. With some other imports. With some monsters. Finally, with an articulated Icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett figure from SH Figuarts is that this is phenomenal. Honestly, they took every bit of criticism that came to the Mandalorian version of Boba Fett last year and applied it here. So pretty much everything is fixed. And I mean, again, they are different versions of the character, but they definitely took everything to heart. Sculpt, articulation, accessories, everything here. Absolutely on point, cannot recommend it enough. Certainly if you're a Boba Fett fan, a modern Boba Fett fan, you collect Star Wars, or you just collect, or you're a fan of the SH Figuarts output for Star Wars, definitely don't pass this up. And as of me recording this video, it is actually still available on HobbyLink Japan at the very least. So I will have links, or a link / more links in the description if I can find it in more places. And yeah, definitely don't sleep on this one. This is just such a great figure. And you know, where the Mandalorian version of Boba Fett kind of got held back in my best of the year list last year, that sort of stuff isn't going to hinder this one. So I think the end of this year is going to be very interesting. We're not even out of January, certainly as I'm recording this review. So yeah, really interesting stuff and exciting stuff. So yeah, so please check that out. And all that being said, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that fun stuff. Ways at the bottom of the description to help even more. Literally anything you do, even watching this far in the video, totally helps me. So I appreciate you being here. And I hope you join me in the future, because I have multiple videos a week, at least 3, generally 3, going over action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So if any of that interests you, please subscribe and join me here. And yeah, I just want to say ultra thanks to you one final time for watching. And I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.